You're listening to the Betoota Advocate's weekly news wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5.
Good afternoon to the people of Betoota and the people around the country. This is Monday the 28th of October. This is the Betoota Advocate Radio News Bulletin, brought to you by Baxter Boots. We're in the Baxter Boots studio. My name is Errol Parker, and joining me in the booth today is, of course, Wendell Hussey.
Hello, Errol. How are you? How was the holiday?
Yeah, it was good, mate. I went back to the continent of Europe and saw my family out there, saw some friends, had a bit of a lie down. Now I'm back and ready to go. But, of course, now that I'm back, Clancy's gone.
Yes, he's on a honeymoon in the Philippines, is he, Errol?
I think that was the last one he was on. I think right now he's on a honeymoon in French Polynesia. I've had a look at his personal Instagram account. There's a couple of pictures of big Clancy there with his new family.
Oh, very nice. Taking in a little bit of culture aboard a P&O cruise in the South Pacific.
More importantly, Wendell, what happened in the news this week?
It's been a huge week of news, Errol, and one of those big stories broke on Sunday morning when the nation woke up to find out serial killer who received better standard of healthcare than refugee children dies.
Yes, of course, that article was referencing the death of Ivan Milat. Good riddance. Hope he's in a much more painful place than he was dying of the Spanish dancer in the hospital wing of Long Bay Hospital down there in Sydney. Needless to say, he did receive a higher standard of healthcare than most people who arrive here by boat. That's something for the Home Affairs Department and the Department of Immigration to reflect on, and I hope that one day they will treat some of the world's most vulnerable and under attack people with the same decency they showed a man who shot and killed many, many backpackers.
Look, it may have been to do with Ivan Milat's willingness to have a go, and we know how that mantra flies in this country. In other news from around the nation now, and Sydney University colleges rush to offer misogynistic schoolboys full scholarships.
Yeah, you know, as Clancy has always said, the world would be a better place if everyone who went to a college at the University of Sydney was rounded up and turned and put in gulags and forced to break rocks up for a couple of years. You know, that might teach him that, you know, there is a world outside that bubble and riding on the coattails of your parents' wealth.
Yeah, James Borg, one of our readers from town, commented on that story saying if those boys don't watch out, they might become frontbenchers for the Morrison Liberal government.
Either that or they could end up in a clean pair of RM boots, spruiking drought policy for the National Party, but you never know where these people will end up.
Now, this week there was an interesting report released. That was, report 85% of friendship circles still have one mate banging on about crypto.
Yes, it might surprise some people that the crypto train is still chugging along, Wendell.
And one man we spoke to who checks the markets on Mind Digital Hourly explained that a few people got burnt in the gold rush a couple of years ago, that mad crypto rush, and that's put them off. But it's definitely trending up, and he'll get rich off it soon.
How's your crypto going?
I never actually got in, Errol. I'm more of a traditional investor, so things like 15-leg multis on a Friday afternoon and the pokies and the Keno, that's where I sort of invest my kind of money. So I stayed pretty clear of cryptocurrency. Did you get involved?
I did. I bought some Ethereum. I bought some Bitcoins in 2008 to procure some synthetic marijuana from the deep net. And of course, I spent it all on synthetic marijuana, magic mushrooms, cocaine, some LSD, some Datura, which is, of course, a psychedelic that occurs naturally in the wild. Spent it all then as, you know, as a young man. I think I was in my 40s back then.
Geez, it'd be worth a bit now, I'd imagine.
Well, you know, that's what they say, but then I heard that it's come back down again, so...
Swings and roundabouts.
Easy come, easy go, Wendell.
That's it, Errol. And in some local news now, doctors declare local man brain dead after tragically buying a Jeep.
Yes, it is a very sad story for this man and, of course, his family and friends. Over the weekend, he's gone into the Betoota Heights Poon Auto Centre and he has picked himself up an ex-demonstrator Jeep, I believe. It was financed. He had a 60% balloon payment on it. And, yeah, things just haven't really worked out for him. So he's gone to the hospital and a couple of doctors have said, "Sir, your brain is dead because you've purchased this Jeep."
Very sad. And in some other local news now, a local bachelor deep in a Call of Duty wormhole tosses up between mee goreng and plain cheese toasty.
Sounds like a tough choice to the young man. He just bought that new Call of Duty Modern Warfare game. I think he eventually went with the mee goreng, didn't he, Wendell? That's something a bit exotic.
Yeah, that's right, Errol. He said it was a bit exotic.
Well, regardless of his choice, he's doing a lot better culinarily compared to old Ponytail Neil.
You can say that again, Errol. Moving along to sports news now, and online bookies now offering bonus bets back if your horse ends up in an abattoir within a week.
I was actually away when this story was published, but I first came aware of this when I got back in town and I hopped in my Saab and I was heading home from the airport and I turned on the radio and I heard that ad, any horse, any abattoir, any knackery. Your money back if your horse is in an abattoir within a week.
Incredible special. It is worth noting, however, that you won't get money back if your horse dies on the track and then ends up in an abattoir. Mm-hmm. They have to leave the racetrack, then be taken to an abattoir or knackery within a week to get that bonus bet back. So worth noting that.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess, if you're listening to Sportsbet, you poisonous cunts, we hope you go out of business.
And Mac Parker commented on that story saying ex-racehorses make the best pies anyway. So he's pretty happy with that new deal. In other sports news now, and England fans ecstatic after defeating backwater English colony in game that England invented.
Is there a Rugby World Cup on at the moment? I'm not too sure. I think the Wallabies are in Europe now or something, aren't they?
NRC was... Yeah. NRC final was this.
I've just been watching the NRC. I've been getting right behind Queensland Country. They're trucking along well. I believe they had a good win against the Western Harbour Rays the other day. I think they...
the Greater Sydney Rising, maybe?
The Greater Sydney Rising or the Melbourne Stars or the Adelaide Schmoogadoos. I think the NRC is quite possibly stealing a lot of the thunder from the Wallabies at the moment.
Not from the English fans, though, because they are still celebrating after beating the All Blacks 19 points to 7 in their semi-final, and they'll now take on South Africa in a final that probably no one really cares about outside of those respective countries.
Well, even if England does win the World Cup, they still have to go home to that stinking hell rock in the North Sea that's about to become a developing country again.
Justice.
Thinking about dipping your toe into the waters of cryptocurrency and blockchain after a pissed conversation with an old mate from school? Already got a portfolio of random digital coins from that 2-month craze that consumed speculative investors a year or two back? Or are you an actual cryptocurrency investor who hates the big banks and traditional markets? Well, Mind Digital is your gateway to the world of cryptocurrency and digital assets. Whether you want to simply buy and sell or access advanced features, Mind has all the tools you need. And it's the only Australian-based crypto exchange with an Australian financial services license. So have a look at minddigital.exchange.
Anyway, that's all I've got here for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to join us again next time for your weekly dose of honest, hard-hitting and regional news. Until then, I'm Wendell Hussey.
And I'm Errol Parker. Stay out of the pokies and stay the fuck off Sportsbet.